Tobruk is a name that rings through history with tales of courage and resilience. But who were the rats of Tobruk, and how did they defy Rommel in the desert? These forgotten heroes changed the tide of war in North Africa, and their story will blow your mind. So get ready to be amazed. The year was 1941 and World War II was raging. The battle between Britain and Germany was not just confined to the skies and the seas. The deserts of North Africa were also becoming a battleground. Here, amidst the scorching sands and relentless sun, a group of soldiers found themselves trapped, besieged by the might of the German army. They were outgunned, outnumbered, but not outmatched. Their spirit was forged in the fires of adversity. They were the rats of Tobruk. But what made Tobruk such an important target? Why were the British forces so determined to hold it at all costs? And what was it about this seemingly insignificant town that turned it into a symbol of defiance? You're watching this channel. Join me as we uncover the untold stories of ordinary people who displayed extraordinary courage in the face of adversity. From the battlefields of World War II to the trenches of Vietnam, from the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of the Pacific, I bring you the stories of bravery, resilience, and sacrifice that defined a generation. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel to be the first to watch new episodes each week. Now, let's dive into the past. The strategic importance of Tobruk cannot be overstated. Controlling this port city was key to dominating the East Mediterranean and posing a significant threat to the Suez Canal and the vital supply lines to India and Australia. When Rommel's Afrika Korps threatened Tobruk in April 1941, the British realized that they had to take action before it was too late. This is when Lieutenant General Sir Arthur Percival was dispatched with the 9th Australian Division to reinforce the defences of Tobruk. These men were no strangers to the harsh conditions of the desert. Many had already seen combat in the Western Desert and knew what they were up against. But what they were about to experience was something different. Something that would push them to the limits of endurance and test their mettle like never before. As soon as the Australians arrived in Tobruk, they found themselves under attack. Rommel was not one to give his enemies a break, and he wasted no time in launching his offensive. On April, the Afrika Korps attacked the poorly protected northern flank of the harbour, sending the Australian forces into a hasty retreat. Within 3 days, the attackers had advanced 32 kilometers, forcing the defenders to abandon their positions around the perimeter of Tobruk. With their backs against the sea, the Australians dug into the hills overlooking the harbour, forming a perimeter around the town. This was their new reality now. For the next 6 months, Tobruk became a scene of relentless attacks and daring counter, all under the scorching gaze of the African sun. The air grew thick with tension as the roar of artillery fire echoed across the barren landscape. It was a symphony of destruction, a testament to the fierce determination of both sides. But amidst this chaos, the Australians found a way to survive. They dug deep into the sand, creating underground bunkers that became their homes. Life in these bunkers was far from comfortable. The stifling heat, the constant threat of aerial bombardments, and the ever-present fear of the enemy breaching their defenses took a heavy toll on their morale. The struggle for survival in these subterranean chambers was as real as the battles above ground. Yet the men of Tobruk refused to be broken. They were trapped in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. Supplies dwindled, food rations ran low, and the relentless desert heat bore down on them, turning their makeshift shelters into ovens. Medical supplies were scarce, and the wounded struggled to receive the care they needed. Disease began to spread, adding another layer of misery to their ordeal. It was a test of the human spirit, a struggle to survive against all odds. But the rats of Tobruk refused to surrender. In the heart of this siege, amidst the suffocating heat and the deafening roar of battle, an unlikely spirit of camaraderie blossomed. The men supported each other, sharing what little they had and offering solace in the darkest moments. They were bound together by a common purpose, a refusal to give up in the face of overwhelming odds. In the dusty, dimly lit tunnels, they found strength in each other, forging bonds of brotherhood that transcended the horrors of their. The siege of Tobruk had turned into a battle not just of guns and ammunition, but of wills. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, a reminder that even in the direst of circumstances, hope and resilience can endure. Amidst the desperate struggle for survival, rumors began to spread about the impending relief of Tobruk. Whispers carried by the wind, tales of an approaching force that would rescue them from their underground hell. These rumors were like beacons of hope in the darkness, keeping their spirits alive. As days turned into weeks and the situation grew increasingly dire, the men clung to these whispers as lifelines, refusing to let despair consume them. But then came the moment that turned the tide. On December 1941, the long-awaited relief force arrived. Cheers erupted within the besieged town as the first Australian tanks rolled through the gates, bringing with them the promise of salvation. The sight of these armored vehicles was like a dream come true, a tangible symbol of deliverance from their underground prison. The siege was over. When the relief force finally arrived, it was a moment of pure elation. For the men of Tobruk, it was as if a weight had been lifted off their shoulders, replaced by an overwhelming sense of gratitude and relief. But the battle for Tobruk was not just a military victory or a humiliating defeat for Rome. It was a clash of wills, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The story of Tobruk is a saga of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination in the face of adversity. It was a battle that defied the odds and left an indelible mark on military history. So why were these men called the Rats of Tobruk? Initially, it was meant as an insult. The Germans and Italians called the Australians rats because of their tenacity and ability to thrive in the harshest conditions, much like rodents. But the Australians took this derogatory nickname and turned it into a badge of honor. They embraced the moniker Rats of Tobruk, signifying their resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination to survive and prevail. It was a testament to their grit and perseverance that they turned a symbol of contempt into a source of pride. And how did they resist daily? Life inside the siege was a grim reality for the Rats of Tobruk. Each day brought new challenges, from the unbearable heat to the constant threat of aerial bombardments. Yet the Australians found ways to resist. One way they defied the enemy was through acts of sabotage. While the Afrika Korps enjoyed moments of success, pushing the Australians further into the hills, they failed to achieve a decisive victory. The defenders used every advantage they could find, including the terrain itself, to stall the enemy's progress. When the attackers ventured too close, the defenders unleashed a barrage of grenades, inflicting heavy casualties. The Germans and Italians, caught off guard by the ferocity of the Australian resistance, suffered significant losses, hindering their ability to mount sustained assaults. One particularly effective tactic employed by the Australians was the use of underground bunkers. These hidden fortifications provided shelter from the relentless shelling and allowed the defenders to regroup and launch counterattacks. The maze-like network of tunnels beneath the surface became a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the men of Tobruk. Despite being trapped in a seemingly hopeless situation, the Rats of Tobruk refused to give up. Their daily acts of resistance, no matter how small, chipped away at the enemy's morale and determination. They fought not just for their own survival, but for the strategic importance of Tobruk itself, knowing that its capture would be a turning point in the war in North Africa. But this resistance was not without its cost. The Australians endured extreme hardships, from scorching heat and limited supplies to the constant threat of aerial bombardments. Yet they held firm, their resolve strengthened by their nickname, the Rats of Tobruk, a testament to their tenacity and ability to thrive in the harshest conditions. Their story is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, the spirit of resilience and defiance can prevail. Today, the Rats of Tobruk are remembered as Australian heroes, their story passed down through generations. Their courage and determination have become a part of Australia's rich military heritage. In the annals of history, the name Tobruk stands tall, synonymous with bravery, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of those who defended it. If you want to know more about the heroes of Tobruk, check out the book, Tobruk by Peter Young. Thanks for watching. See you next time.